What a day, what a day, what a day. Skies are looking pretty good, a little windy. I think it rained last night, early this morning. Hey, look at here. We got a prime spot. It's almost like they knew we were coming. Not only are we able to park the Porsche Macan GTS in the compact spot, but surprisingly enough, we're able to fit body in the vehicle, 5 of us, and luggage, so that we can all have what we need, our bags, for the cruise that we're about to hop on. Now, interestingly enough, we got to be very careful and strategic with what we purchase and what we buy, because we only have so much room to put these things back in the car when we get back from the cruise, to then head to, I think we're going to Orlando. From Tampa, we're going to Orlando, but then we'll be back in Tampa so that the moms can get back on the plane and fly back to Atlanta. So we got to be strategic with space. And the moms are already planning on sending us back to Destin with some of their stuff that they're not going to be able to or want to try to squeeze onto the plane or pay for the checked bag, or what extra they'll have that they didn't come with originally. I did a little bit of research, although I was super excited, because what I'm doing is we're actually recording a lot of this content to post on YouTube, but we're posting it on a different channel. Squirrel Tribe and me and the kid and the moms, all of this travel family vlog, family content, fun and exciting videos, excursions, experiences, everything, attractions, are going on a completely different channel. One of the things I really wanted to include was some cool footage of the cruise ship, which is why I brought my drone. So I got a DJI Mavic Mini 3, I believe. Great little drone for the entry price point, and it gets the job done. It's under 250 grams, so it's able to fly in a lot of different places without, like licensing and all these other rules and regulations required. But I double checked right before making a huge mistake, and it appears as though I'm not going to be able to fly this drone. Apparently it's frowned upon flying at port, and additionally, you're not allowed to bring a drone on board in a carry-on or in a checked bag, which works out really, really well, because the good thing is I checked first before making a huge mistake. Check out this plane. I think the cool part about where we're staying is we're right by the Tampa International Airport, TIA. We're over here by International Plaza, which I don't know if you guys can see that through the trees over there. And it's a nice little spot. We ended up walking to World of Beer last night, mainly so I could grab a Secret Llama IPA. And then I actually tried a Elysium. The bartender made me an Elysium, and then he mixed it with a Wicked Weed. And I was like, dude, I have never thought to mix beers to create new flavors. And he put me on to a whole new game. But I was supposed to get dinner because we ate like a late lunch, but everybody else had leftovers from Rocco's Tacos and Bahama Breeze, and I didn't. So I was supposed to actually come over here and get dinner or something for dinner. I'm actually trying to walk over here, and I didn't realize there was a gate here or a fence. So I don't know what this parking situation is for Biospine, but there's an opening here. So I will just walk through this opening so I can get through. So I was supposed to get something to eat, and I'm not gonna lie, I don't love World of Beer's food. But the only reason we went is because it's walking distance to where we're staying. And Michelle really wanted to see what this World of Beer was like in comparison to the World of Beer in Destin. They're closed right now. It's almost 9:40 or 9:35 Sunday morning. Happy Father's Day, folks. I don't know when this video is going up, but happy Father's Day to the real dads out there. And so she just wanted to see what it was like. And it was pretty cool. But I didn't end up getting anything to eat. But it worked out just fine. They got a outside area, a really nice outside area that we don't have in Destin, with this multi-level patio and just the seating area. I like how they just trust that this furniture is going to be here when they come back. But I guess I got a little fountain in here too. They had a fight. They had a UFC fight on last night. Fernanda, I think. I saw Fernanda and somebody else. I'm not a big UFC. I don't know UFC, so I don't know the fighters' names, but another big old plane taking off. I don't know if you guys can see it. Taking off right there. It's kind of hard to see with these polarized sunglasses on and doing it backwards. That looks like Spirit. It looks like Spirit Airline. I always planes, they look like they're going so slow and they're able to fly like that. It looks like the symbol for fan something. It might be one of their office headquarters or something. But either way, I was checking to see if I could I just want to make sure I didn't like break any rules with the drone. So apparently you're not supposed to bring this drone. So if I would have brought it on the cruise ship, then ultimately they would have confiscated it or forced me to, turn around and take it back to the car before I got on the boat. So it's just going to save me the hassle. And then apparently if you fly it at the port, or if you're caught flying it on the ship, if you were to get it on, then they'll destroy it. They'll destroy it. Man, these planes are huge. I don't want to get super distracted every time a plane takes off because they're taking off every 30 seconds, seems like. But they're just massive. When they come from behind this building, they're just huge. I'll keep the camera turned around this way so you guys can see that next plane coming. So anyway, they'll destroy the drone. So it says that they'll destroy it and then potentially hit you with a $5,000 fine. So the worst part about that is you lose your footage, you lose your drone, you lose $700, $800 you put in, $900 you put into the drone, depending on which drone you got. Some of these drones are thousands of dollars, so that'd be a lot of money to lose. And then you gotta pay a fine on top of it. Watch the plane not take off this time since I'm waiting for it. What is it, watch pot never boils? I'll give it a few seconds. We'll see if the plane comes over that building. So as I'm doing my research on my drone, so I can kind of have a game plan for how I'm gonna record this content and bring it to you guys. And I'm open for suggestions. I think I'm gonna do a full, as best I can, full cruise ship walkthrough. I'll do a stateroom tour. We got an excursion. I know we got an excursion in Cozumel. Trying to think what else. The food that they offer. May not do the drinks because we didn't get the drink package. The drink package was kind of expensive, so we ended up getting the internet package so we could upload videos. But either way, I'm just excited to go. I'm excited to go. Is a plane not going to take off now that I'm standing here waiting on it? So either way, as I'm reviewing the rules, it's also given a list of other items that you're not allowed to bring on board. And apparently, they said one bad drone pilot could ruin it for everybody, which ultimately is what happened. But I believe that a lot of these other restricted and forbidden items, prohibited items, are a result of problems or potential problems that the cruise ship just does not want to have to face. And a lot of them seem like they deal with electronics that could potentially catch fire. Which, hey, we're on this, floating city in the middle of the ocean. I'm okay with them trying to prevent fire hazards. So no qualms with that one. I swear, as soon as I walk away, a plane's gonna take off. I should have checked the flight schedule and see what flights were taking off. This would have been a far better use of our time standing here. But the simple fact of the matter is, I kind of wanted to know what I was getting myself into before I got too far in, and hey, look, there's a plane. I ain't gonna lie, that one didn't seem as big as the other one. Bummer. But I wanted to know what I was getting myself into before it was too late. And it kind of got me thinking. I saw this story about, it was $100 million of cash and other items seized from people's personal safety deposit boxes at the bank or at a bank. This little seating area is kind of cool. I'll show this to you guys. The color of these chairs like really just stood out. And this fire pit and the blue glass, pretty cool. Not many people here using the pool though. I gotta get away from this music so I don't get a copyright strike. But I think what's crazy was one of the particular safety deposit box owners had like over $40,000 in cash in their box. And obviously that was confiscated and now it's going to be part of evidence and whatever FBI investigation is going on. Whether these folks are a part of it or not, they're tied up into it. And odds are with the legal system and all that will be involved, they're not going to see that money for quite some time. Maybe ever again in their lifetime, as it was part of their life savings, quite possibly a piece of their retirement planning. And hey, will they ever get that money back in a reasonable amount of time for what its intended purpose was? Good question. But it just made me think more about knowing what you're getting yourself into. And me personally, I would prefer not to shove cash in a safety deposit box. Like, the banks alone are already causing your cash, your money, your dollars to lose value sitting in these accounts because they're not making any more money sitting there besides the little rinky-dink interest that the bank gives you on savings accounts. But then if you put cash in a safety deposit box literally inside of a bank vault, a brick and mortar bank location, which could potentially close down for good and then you have to relocate, it earns zero. It earns even less than that little rinky-dink interest because it's not actually in the bank's possession on their ledger where they could then utilize your money in their fractional reserve banking system to allow them to invest it and risk it in the markets through loans and other bank products to bring them back a greater return. So it was like putting money in a safety deposit box in a bank would probably be one of the worst places I'd probably choose to put my money. You got to think, if you'd probably be better off letting some friend borrow that money to start a business and potentially having an ownership stake in getting a return on investment or ROI in their business success than you would from the bank and the little less than 1% interest you get on a savings account, or the 0% and actually greater losses you would experience as inflation continues to chip away at the purchasing power of the dollar sitting in a safety deposit box, only to then be vulnerable to confiscation and seizure should the FBI choose to kick in the door and steal the contents, literally is what they did, out of people's safety deposit boxes and then leave you sitting there waiting. Now, granted, they could easily, seize accounts and garnish wages and things like that too, but then that takes us to a far deeper discussion and bigger conversation. Hey, good morning. I'm shooting a vlog. What are you doing? That's why we are talk about diversity, okay? Security and cash flow. So for instance, if you got 40 grand sitting in a, I don't know if they're trying to fix this or somebody's scrapping this for parts or what. Or if they just gonna yank all the copper out of it. It's a way to make money. Recycling, metal recycling. I don't know what they're paying per pound for steel and aluminum and copper these days, but I've seen some people make some good money doing it. I've seen some people actually making good money doing it and recording that content of the scrap collecting and recycling and posting it on YouTube. So they're kind of like double dipping. Genius. Again, diversity. But diversity, security, and cash flow when it comes to the banks, when it comes to safety deposit boxes, it's like I would rather have my money spread out in multiple locations. Instead of having 40 grand in one safety deposit box, even though it's a terrible idea, you could have had 10 grand in 4 different safety deposit boxes. Then you would have only lost 25% of your life savings because the feds didn't seize all the banks. But then the security comes in where you choose to put that money, because obviously you think, okay, safety deposit box, Hyatt House. We stayed at a Hyatt House once before, and during our summer van life road trip, full-time van life. But Michelle, it's like there's a complex here full of different hotels, and ultimately Michelle found the best deal and the cheapest price, the greatest value, and then we get the most points, and she even paid for it with rewards. So it worked out to be a pretty sweet deal. But then you would have only had 25% of your life savings stolen from you by the feds out of this one account. You still would have had the other 3. So that's diversity in the security and having your money in the bank, which is, it's weird that your money's in the bank, but it's not really in the bank. Hey, this could be an even better investment or investment vehicle, so to speak. No pun intended. I like the white interior. I like the blue on white. I don't know if I'd ever buy a C8. Actually, for a fact, I would never buy a C8 unless it was a Z06. But even then, for that price, that flat plane crank V8, although inspired by a Ferrari 458 Italia, I would probably go buy the 458 Italia, or I guess this truck is running. Maybe somebody's sleeping in it. I don't know. Or I go buy a GT3. 911. Shoot, I go buy a Carrera. I go buy a Carrera base. Carrera base, I mean, it's still going to be 0 to 60 in somewhere in the 3-second range. And if you go with a 4S, then it's just going to be even quicker off the line. And a simple turbo swap or turbos swap, because there's two, and ECU tuning and flash, and you pretty much got a C8 Z06 killer, quite possibly giving 911 Turbo S a run for its money for a fraction of the price. And you get that sweet PDK. And I'm not a huge fan of that like square steering wheel. I'm not feeling it. But either way, diversity, security, and cash flow, you lose all of that with cash sitting in a safety deposit box. You don't have diversity because it's sitting in one spot. You don't really have security because obviously the banks aren't secure in this instance of the feds having the ability to kick in the door, wave in the 4-4, and then stealing all your cash, right? And then you have no cash flow because the money isn't earning interest sitting in the safety deposit box, and it's earning even less because it's not really invested in the market. See, the reason why big money, big wealth is created and generated and continuously increased, seeing huge returns, net worth calculations, personal financial statements on the rise, is because they invest more so than just in stocks, more so than just in real estate, but they invest in business. And as I told you guys before, many, many months ago, that businesses are going to be the biggest winners here. Businesses are going to be the biggest winners, and quite possibly, most importantly, the businesses that are supported by businesses. So, for instance, there's nothing but businesses here. This FanDuel, or I don't know what this place is. I'm gonna have to go look and see what it is. But Hampton, Garden Inn, Home Suites, Homewood Suites, Hyatt, these are all businesses. If you had a business that did business with these businesses, okay, Fanatics, we got Fanatics, we got, let me show you guys, Maximum Healthcare Staffing Services, Craft Body Scan. Let's see what this sign says. I'm gonna stay in the shade here because it's gonna be hot. I got so many more hot ass Florida days ahead of me. I don't need to be standing in the sun cooking and baking. I ain't got no sunblock on or nothing. So we got Fanatics, Maximum Healthcare Staffing Services, Craft Body Scan, and look, there's a vacant spot. So if you want an office space, you come on and get you one. But the simple fact of the matter is that businesses support businesses. So if you have a business, for instance, in hospitality, related to hospitality, then this little plaza here, this little park, I think that guy's a subscriber. He gave me the nod, he gave me the wave. Then you would be able to come here and probably engage and do business with these businesses, get a contract, a probably substantial size contract. Whereas these businesses are then supported by consumers. So they're relying on people to show up and book the rooms, spend the night, buy things from the convenience section in the lobby that are overpriced, all these different things. But they then have to look to gain, these hotels probably got 300 doors. So they're looking to get so many different visitors booking on a regular basis to get, a few $100s a night continuously, where instead I'd rather have a business that only has to deal with one other person, one other business, one other administrator of a contract or whatever it may be, and make a far greater amount per deal, per transaction, and not have to deal with like everybody. Whew. Been down that road, been there, done that. Never again. But odds are that business that is connected to these businesses is going to succeed, is going to make really good money. They're going to have substantial revenues and impressive profits. And that's pretty much it. That's pretty much it. That's how this is going to go down for the most part. It's a valet office. Guns are not allowed to be left in vehicles or on premises. That's good to know. So we got another business here. Shuttle bus with the A1 Express airport parking. We got this little parking garage here. There's going to be I think there's going to be a huge business opportunity in the near future with the changes that we got coming and this wave of EV electronic vehicles and charging stations and support and maintenance and different things like that. I did get distracted because I'm a fan of a C7. I'm a fan of a C7. I really like these wheels. This is a Grand Sport. It looks like it even has a Z07 package on the Grand Sport, but it just lacks the supercharged LT7. I think it's the LT7. I really like those wheels. My biggest gripe with those wheels is how some people have complained that they crack, and GM did not want to really provide any sort of reprieve or repair or replacement or solution for that problem. So that was a letdown. A lot of my favorite car choices have minor issues that are a big deal to me. One of which being a Ford Mustang GT350, which odds are, there's a Mustang right here. We probably won't find a GT350 sitting in here, but they had some reported issues of engine failure, catastrophic engine failure, and the need for engine replacement. And at the time when I was looking at getting one, during the height of the pandemic and the supply chain shortage, there's another C7. That's just a regular Stingray. Regular Stingray, but he's got the wicker. He put a wicker bill. Is that wicker? No. Oh, it's just like a really tiny little wicker bill on the Stingray. But at the height of that whole supply chain shortage, the last thing I wanted to do was have a GT350 sitting in the shop waiting on an engine that it was never going to get. So for those reasons, I'm out. This bad boy right here is really happy with this one. And I actually put up a short yesterday showing a new Macan GTS in chalk with the black Alcantara interior with red stitching. Oh, if I would buy another one just because I've already had one, but I really like that one. Obviously, I think I would really like to gravitate towards a 911, but a 911 wouldn't be parked here right now because it's really only a two-seater. It's a 2+2, but ain't nobody fitting in the back, and there's no luggage. I could do a roof rack, but it's so impractical, it's not even funny. So I think that maybe I would probably just like go test out maybe an Audi RS Q8 because I just think they're super sexy. Or maybe a RS Q6, whichever one the wagon is. I think it's a 6. Regardless, that's neither here nor there. That content would be on a different channel. That'd be on my car channel. But either way, what do you guys think? What do you guys think? Would you put your money in a safety deposit box, or would you rather see your money actually grow and produce substantial returns and build your wealth at a time where I think we're about to enter into this era where we're going to see a huge shift, and that shift is going to come with great opportunity. What do you think about these jeans? Like, Should she have just worn shorts? It's like, I mean, I guess it's a cute look, but it seems a little, I don't know. I don't understand the purpose. I guess it's fashion. Everybody's got their own different fashion tastes. I'm a more lazy and subdued. All my clothes are pretty much like gray, olive green. People always like, you know, were you in the military? Trying to give me military discounts. I'm like, no, I wasn't in the military. But either way, I'm getting distracted here. I've already taken like 6 laps around this complex. I need to get going because we're about to head to the port. But I appreciate you guys spending this time with me and having this conversation. I know a lot of folks out there have been asking for more content about making money, passive income streams, side hustles, making money online, working from home. So if that interests you, then by all means, smash the like button, subscribe if you haven't already. Turn on your notifications because apparently YouTube's been turning them off for subscribers without their consent. But more importantly, come check me out on Patreon. And I'm posting free content on Patreon as well. So you don't have to be a member to gain access to this content. But I feel as though it's like better suited over there because if that's what you want, then that's what you'll get. Whereas YouTube, you kind of never really know what they're gonna shove in your face, right? The algorithm's kind of weird, kind of funky right now. But either way, I'm gonna head out. I appreciate you guys watching. Y'all be safe, y'all take care, and I'll see you real soon. Bye.